Tenestilin, Al-Shalanti, Hotep. Gentlemen, precious ladies and learning students, welcome to Graspmatyx, Graspmatyx.com. On today's program, we'll get a chance to learn the personality and character of numbers. The what? Personality and character of numbers. Well, most people say numbers have character. Yes, they do. They have character. So they also have personality. Perhaps you were not taught in your school, whether it be public, private, government, or whatever, academy, you were not taught that numbers do have personality and character. Well, on this program, you'll learn that. For example, on the board here, you'll see numbers. The starting number is always 0. And if you notice here, on Graspmatyx, we always start our numbers from the bottom going up to the top, right? From the what? Bottom to the top. I was taught in the British school system, yours truly, Dr. Yates, the inventor of Graspmatyx, Graspmathologist Dr. Yates, was taught by the British first and then the Americans. Well, the British taught me that when you're doing numbers, you start from the top going down to the bottom. For example, they'll do it this way, as in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, then 10, 11, 12, and so on. But in this program called Graspmatyx.com, we start from the bottom going up to the top. And there are several reasons why. One, for example, bottom is foundation. So you measure from the bottom going up. You ask anyone in the construction business or engineering business, they'll tell you that you always measure from the below, the foundation, which is the earth, going up. Okay, that's the one reason why. The second reason is because of perception versus conception in mathematics. Perception versus conception. This math, Graspmatyx.com, is based on 4 principles. What are those 4 principles? Here they are. First, perception. Second, reasoning. Third, rhythm. Fourth, restoration. Disfortunately, a lot of people pronounce this word restoration. No one is resting here in this matter. The word is not to rest. It is to restore. So the word is restoration, right? Not restoration, like most Americans like to say. It is restoration. So what are you restoring? You're restoring the first 3 principles: perception, reasoning, and rhythm. And I'll teach you how you apply these principles in doing math equations, the simple, easy, and fun way. So on today's program, whether you're watching at night or daytime, it doesn't matter. What matters is that you are learning the personality and character of numbers. As we look on the board here, if you look on your screen, you'll notice that, like I said, the starting number is 0. Disfortunately, I was taught by the British and the Americans to start at the number 1. Well, if you look into my programs, you notice that, or educational presentation, better than saying program, I'm a little cautious about that word called program. Too many being programmed to think a certain way and they have no mental freedom, spiritual or mental freedom. So for now, I try not using the word program, but I'll say my illustrations or my presentation or my approach in learning math, I was taught by the British to start at 1 and the Americans at 1. I have several presentations that explain why the British or Europeans and the Americans start counting at 1 instead of 0. I'm not saying all of them do, but I was taught by the British when I went to school and by the American school system to start at 1. And when I do travel to several countries and states in the United States and do presentation and workshop, and I normally ask people to count, they always say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Disfortunately, I also experienced that in Ethiopia, which I'm very disappointed that the people in Ethiopia count like the Europeans or like the Americans, like the Western. When Ethiopia is Known, K-N-O-W-N. My K is never silent in any word. So you'll hear Dr. Yates speak certain words pronouncing all his letters. So I say Known, K-N-O-W-I-N, which is the past tense of Know, K-N-O-W. Okay? When I say words like that, I'm speaking the Kwankwa or language called Graspmatyx. This math, Graspmatyx.com, is taught in 3 Kwankwa-och: English, Graspmatyx, and Amharinya or Amharic. That's a language spoken in Ethiopia. So you stay with me here on this program and learn much more. Remember, Dr. Yates was taught counting at the number 1 in the British school and the American school. I tell you what, if you find that somewhat strange or different than the way you were taught, ask people to count in English. And you'll hear most of them would say 1, 2, 3. They wouldn't say 0. Well, in this program, the starting number is 0. That's why you see it illustrated here. And we start from the bottom going up to the top. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. After 9, we do not say 10, because 10 is just a word, T-E-N. And that word misrepresents the figure 1, 0. The figure is 1, 0. Because after 9, you're starting all over again. You're just repeating the numbers, this time in 2 digits, 3 digits, 4 digits, and so on, okay, etc. So that is the reason why you hear Dr. Yates call the numbers based on figures like 17, 28, 55, 99, 100, and so on. So that's the reason why this math is, people say different, but I like to say also it is unorthodox, meaning it's not the normal way the British or Americans normally do teach, or the way they taught me. That is the reason why I never liked math at school, and I was a math phobiac. Yes, I feared math terribly. I feared and failed it in the British and American school system. Then I started traveling, and I had the opportunity of working, studying, and living in Germany for 6 years. And watching how the Germans present their number system, and also how the Chinese and Mandarin present their number system, and the Japanese, etc., I realized there is a difference, okay? Especially when you pass the number 9. So what I did is I started studying other cultures, how they present their math and their approach, and found out this is not the same like the British or the Americans, and that they are more advanced in their math. Then I learned that the Dogon people of Africa, and that the Nubians, which is of Sudan, and also of Ethiopia, and even of Kemet, they call Egypt, these indigenous people, even the Mayans, their mathematical system is totally different than the Europeans, and that they had a more practical and logical way of doing math. Then I found out that there are a lot of things that I've inherited from my ancestors in my DNA that I can tap into and then learn, what you call inner learning than outer learning. By doing this, I'm able to create now this math approach called Graspmatyx. And you'll see the difference, and you'll learn the difference, and you realize it makes a lot of sense. So, we start at 0, okay? Instead of starting at 1. And here are some of the reasons why. When you start at 0, okay, and you get all the way to 9, if you were to count every numerical symbol or figures there, starting at 0 to 9, how many figures do you see on the board?